Peace to the gods, peace to the earth, peace to all the righteous families on the planet Earth. This your man, King Louis Allah, coming to you, doing my duty today, striving to. First and foremost, I want to wish a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, gods, goddesses, queens, and earths. It aligns up with today being the 9th day of May. 9 in our supreme mathematics is defined as born. Born means to bring into existence, to manifest. So today being Mother's Day lines up with supreme mathematics. Is it a coincidence? I don't know, but mothers, queens, goddesses, earths, women being symbolic to earth is because they bring forth life. The earth is considered to be fertile. If you plant seeds in the earth, it bring forth life, whether it be trees or things, other living things. And so and women have the ability to born new life on the planet Earth into the world. All female creatures, are truly, literally mothers because of their ability and knowledge to born and nurture and raise its offspring, right? So, happy Mother's Day, sincerely, to all the women and females of the planet Earth. Without women, there would be no life. That's why, men should start to appreciate and see women as their equal, as our counterpart, as our partner. Without each other, life will cease to continue or exist. The biblical belief is that the mystery God made a woman so man won't be lonely. I do believe the Nation of Islam. No shout out to them, but I do. I think Muslims believe that if you don't have a woman, not having a woman can make your life hard. Can make your life hard. Your living, your existence hard without a woman. I think Muslims believe that, but I don't, and so I never agree with women being secondary, but are equal, just as important as a man. If not more. I mean, we provide the seed, the woman provides the earth, the fertile womb to to grow ourselves. That's the man that provides the seed and the woman that provides the womb. Without the two, life will cease to exist. That's why women are credited as goddesses. That's the female word, female version of God. You got a male God, got a female goddess. So, and that's true equality. My understanding plus her understanding is true equality. That's 6. So that's true equality, right? And so, I'm gonna talk about some things. I'm gonna talk about understanding and some things. So I'm gonna strive to do my duty. Um, and so the first thing I'm gonna talk about is understanding. Understanding is number 3 in supreme mathematics, and to that means to have a clear mental picture of something, right? What you trying to understand, what you trying to explain, what you trying to gain knowledge of is understanding. And so complete understand to really understand means to have a complete mental picture, to overstand, to be over the head of what you're trying to understand so you can teach, right? So, to overstand, to completely get it, right? And we get to understanding is number 3. So simply we just we add knowledge, which is number 1, and wisdom, which is number 2. Knowledge is knowing about all the things in existence. Now that's, people say that's impossible. When I started on the journey to get knowledge of self, I say that's impossible. But the supreme 120 wisdom degrees, if get the proper enlightenment, is each degree from solar facts on back to student enrollment, from student enrollment to solar facts is 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 a door. If you are a curious person and you want to know more, I believe 120 supreme wisdom degrees is a door into uh everything there is about life. But you have to get the proper enlightenment and have the discipline and patience to study, to research, to be taught, and to learn, right? So and so I just want to show a contradiction of how I believe the Bible and Christianity and religions that believe in the supernatural or a supreme mystery God, has come to be sleep religion. Sleep religion. That's religion. That's teaching. That's a belief system that keeps you in a state of sleep, of not being conscious and aware and alert of the life around you, of your environment. Um, it's Proverbs in chapter 3, verse 5. Yes, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him and he will make your path straight. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto your own understanding. So, I think that is, and, then the Bible says a couple verses down, in all that you do, get understanding. So, this is contradictory. This is, if you try to take it literally, try to take these proverbs literally, this is supposed to be the book of knowledge. Proverbs is supposed to be the book of knowledge, the book of wisdom. And if you take them literally, how can you, so when they, and so, people have to realize that Christianity and the Bible was given to black people in slavery, right? And so So if they show us a white Jesus and the so-called white master gives you a book that, and you can't barely read, and then, and you come to learn to trust in him, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not unto your own understanding. Who are they telling you to trust in? Right? So that's like counterproductive, you know. And so trusting in something instead of going through and research is uh is going to keep you asleep. It's going to keep you stagnant. It's going to stop your progress. It's going to stop your growth and development. You're not going to completely understand something that's not new under the sun. See, the same book teaches there is nothing new under the sun. What you have thought of, thinking of, has already been done. So if that is the case and you want to know something, you should do the knowledge, do the research, and trust in yourself. And so when you condition yourself to trust in something you can't see, you know how you're gonna learn or get ahead. See what I'm saying? So, I just want to, touch on that, understanding. And then I was watching Allah School in Mecca channel on YouTube, which is produced by Mega, right? And he do his duty. He go to all the 5%ers all over the world, and he interview them about how they get knowledge of self, this, that, and the third. And as he does his duty, he is also seeking clearer and more knowledge of himself. He's trying to get a better understanding. And one of the gods he was talking to, born perfection, um, which hit home with me was a person's ability to discern. See, to get enlightened and to have a complete understanding of something, you got to have knowledge and wisdom. Wisdom is to intuition. Wisdom comes through experience. Wisdom comes through doing. Wisdom comes through learning. Action is learning. Action is reading. Action is studying. Action is doing, which 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 is knowledge applied, right? So knowledge applied plus wisdom is understanding, right? But in order to grow and develop and to make the right decision or the best decision, you have to have the ability to discern. That is the 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 skill, the knowledge to search out a matter. If you are knowledgeable, and wisdom comes through experience, and experience is gained through time as well. That's why we credit elders for knowing the secrets on the best way to live, because they done made the mistakes and they try to tell us how not to make the same mistakes, which is why we give credit elders for being wise, right? But if you want to make the right decision, you have to have the ability to discern. So if you're not knowledgeable in certain areas, you lack the streets. If you say you're a street person and you're not, and to make it in the streets, you got to be streetwise. But it's a meme out there. Street people are miseducated people, and most of them that claim that don't have a basic education. And if you don't have a basic education on which to build, you're gonna make the wrong decisions, right? So So discernment, the ability to discern situations matters, comes with having the right knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the dilemmas, the problems in the situation. You're not going to be able to solve, be a middleman, be a peace broker if you don't have discernment. If if you don't have the skill to search out a matter, to advise people on the best possible solution, if you don't have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and the ability, the power, the skill to search out, to discern a matter, takes knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of all the events that need breaking down, that need to be solved. So, I thought that was important when he was building with Ifmega, and telling Ifmega that you have to have the ability to discern, especially in the nation of God's earth, the nation of God's earth, because Father Allah and the firstborn nine and the elders did not change the 120. They didn't publish an enlightened version like I have on my Instagram, the real King Lou 7. You got it's a 1 to 10 student enrollment into the nation of God's earth, not the NOI. It's a 1 to 14, and it's a 1 to 36 on there. Now, it's not. I didn't put the math. I'm still compiling that information, but they refuse to revise and put Nation of God's earth on their own 120, which I guess they trying to create that skill in people, discernment, discernment and understanding, right? And so, it's very important that yeah, is and so discernment, is a word I come across in the Bible a long time ago. I used to study the Bible, and as a 5% as a God and earth, it is it is best that we know about these things. So I just happened to come from a Baptist family, and went to Catholic church. So I was familiar with the Bible, but they got study Bibles out there, and I bought like 2, 3 of them, so I Bible studied a lot, and that word discernment come up, and that search out a matter sentence come up, and so these things take wisdom. That's number 2, and knowledge. That's number 1. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 3 is understanding. It's supreme mathematics. So it's important. Those was the first supreme mathematics that I learned, was knowledge, wisdom, understanding. 1, 2, 3. And what I did, it was like I had to teach myself to count all over again, and teach myself the alphabet all over again. And I'm like, wow. And so after I understood the definitions, I was like, man, I don't know if I made it harder on myself, or I don't know, man. But that's what it's like, learning because we go from 1 to 0, that's knowledge, to cipher, and we go all the 26 alphabets, all the knowledge alphabet, knowledge supreme alphabet, to wisdom equality alphabet, which is 26. Wisdom equality. Remember, wisdom is number 2. Equality is number 6. So it's wisdom equality is 26. Add that up, that is 8. In supreme mathematics, that is build and or destroy, right? And then so you go to the in supreme alphabet, number 8 is A B A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. H is here's her. That's in supreme mathematics. So, the alphabet and mathematics online is, best to get an overview of it, get a feel of it, and, follow along. I'm gonna be doing my duty, waking people up, right? And so I'm asking you to understand, to discern what I'm saying. If you don't understand, you don't like what I'm saying, tell me, leave a comment, thumbs down. I don't have a problem. I learned in school, feedback, all feedback is good, right? So I'm not mad at you, if you listen and you disagree or you agree, I'm not mad at you. Leave a comment, tell everybody to follow, watch, you know, they tell me to, get my views up. I done heard some things, YouTube trying to shut me down. My views ain't work. People tell me they watch, but my views don't move. I got one video and it got 10,000. I'm like, wow. You know, um, so yeah, man. So I guess YouTube wanted y'all to see that one, right? So, but yeah, so and so I'm getting to Malcolm X some more. I got to defend my uncle. Um, um, and it's a real. And so y'all gonna have to wake up to the Nation of Islam. Now, black people, y'all need to wake up to Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. I didn't heard. He got a problem with you know with him being called Faked Khan. They talking about they was gonna take some of the videos down because I called him Faked Khan, right? Um, but I want to defend my uncle, Mal some more. El Haj Malik El Shabazz some more. I bestow upon him. I believe he would have got an honorary doctorate from somebody. He could have wound up getting a Nobel Peace Prize like Martin Luther King did, right? But the Nation of Islam gunned down his progress, and I just read a paper on Scribd app on the Scribd app, right? By Michael Muhammad of the Nation of Islam. And the name of it is uh, To All You Gullible Malcolmites, something like that. Now I'm like gullible Malcolmites. And his paper, a couple pages long, he defends Faker Khan and talks about how we sleep and we being. And the paper was published up there in 2013, so I don't know when he actually wrote it, but he was saying how the mediology is brainwashing, the Jewish controlled mediology is telling us wrong and making us, dividing us against Farrakhan and Nation of Islam. That's bull, right? Dude ain't do his homework, and out of Faker Khan's mouth, he admit he set the atmosphere to get Malcolm killed, right? But I just want to tell people, and so it's a show on Epics that you got to go through Amazon Prime, I believe. I got it. It's called The Godfather Harlem. Season 2 is on, thank goodness. Season 1 was excellent, and it got the dude from Players Club, the dude that looked like Malcolm X back then, the dude that in the college enrollment line that threw some money at Lisa Ray. Well, he looked like he could play Malcolm X then, so now he get to play Malcolm X, and he doing an excellent job playing Malcolm X, and but I come to so I come to learn some things from the show, some things match up with the research and everything, but the thing I don't like, and so I'm gonna talk about the documentary, the latest documentary that's out there Who Killed Malcolm X, right, on Netflix. And um and so, I don't fault the dude, but it's a good documentary. You got brother Baba Zak Kondo, Dr. Zak Kondo is the world's foremost authority on Malcolm X. He say he did 10 or 11 years of research. And, he has a PhD in, I don't know, something, but, he's a professor. And, he got a book out that's sold out right now. That's Baba Zak Kondo, PhD, right? And, he say, he's in the documentary, but he say Rockman Muhammad, that's the documentarian, just brought his book to life, right? He said he didn't been put that information out there in his book, this and the third. I put some of him up on my Facebook, right? Uh, my Facebook not gonna never open up. If you want on, just request. Um, I got that many haters. I don't want on my Facebook. I don't want to be a public figure like that. My YouTube open, my Instagram, but my Facebook not. And it's all good. I'm still not one for likes and followers. I want to keep it real. If you like it, if you don't, I think I'm worth an hour, 30 minutes of your time just to get 5% of perspective. I'm trying to be neutral, real, honest, and I think I'm worth some of your time, right? While you riding, like I watch or watch and listen to YouTube while I'm riding, while I'm working around the house, so you don't have to, while you can listen, right? Um, and so, and so what I'm coming to find is, man, it's like, wow, you know, uh, and so, so my enlightenment power has kicked in. When you seek enlightenment on something, it don't shut off. And I don't think I wanted to shut off. So to be enlightened, you gotta see, you gotta shine the light on what's being really said, right? So, like one or two problems I had with the documentary. I liked the end of the documentary that showed the killer, the double barrel Gageman Bradley. You know, um, I never knew that, but Baba Zak Kondo said, he been put there. I'm like, why ain't nobody to the authorities? But they did not defend. He did not defend. He's supposed to be pro Malcolm, Malcolmite himself, and he did not defend Malcolm X when they called him big headed, right? He was interviewing people at that cafe in New Jersey where his son was a retired New Jersey police officer, right? And dudes, I mean, and this is 55 years later, and they still got a problem with Malcolm. Nation of Islam still got a problem with Malcolm. That's dangerous. Them brothers and sisters over there asleep, right? But he was called big headed, right? And I'm like, how was he big headed, right? He should have defended Malcolm better. Malcolm served his suspension 90 days plus some, while Elijah Muhammad was making babies with underage women. How can you say Malcolm was big headed? You know, Malcolm was not big headed, and so I got a problem when no one defended that, right? Um, you know, the Quran may talk about Muhammad having 9 multiple wives, but where does it say that a man takes a elder man can sleep with with a young woman in regular legal world terms, that's statutory rape. That's pedophilia, right? And so how can he say it seemed like Elijah got big headed? Now Malcolm wanted to correct Elijah Muhammad, right? And then I just learned through the Godfather Harlem Epics television show, excellent show. I think they do their research as well. That uh, during the suspension, Elijah Muhammad gave a speech, and I don't think they lying on the speech where they said, he wished Malcolm would go away. Now, I never heard Elijah say anything about Malcolm going away, but he said, he wished Malcolm would go away. And the FOI brother that was talking, his lines was like, they took that as a message within a message. See, this the level of day enlightenment, right? It's like they believe that Elijah wanted Malcolm killed by saying, "I wish he'd go away," and so the television show that dude planted the bomb in Malcolm's car, and Malcolm caught him. Right? I don't know that's true, but I believe that Muhammad said that, right? He wished Malcolm would go away, and that's how they take things. You know, um, the growth and development of Malcolm, the Nation of Islam, FBI, NYPD can never justify their death. It's a book out called the FBI Files of Malcolm X. Y'all to check it out. And Faker Khan say, he was, but 10 weeks before Malcolm's assassination, Farrakhan wrote in the Nation of Islam paper, the Muhammad speaks, only those who wish to be led to hell or their doom will follow Malcolm. That's what he said. And then he said, only Malcolm is worthy of death, and he said some more things that I can't find. Then in 1993, he gave that speech. Malcolm is a traitor, right? Malcolm was not a traitor. Who did he trade on? They pushed him out of the NOI, and he his own organizations, and they were very jealous. So, mm, mm, mm. And so Malcolm was no militant, right? People call Malcolm militant. So if you look up militant, that means taking an aggressive, combative and aggressive in support of a political or social cause, typically favoring extreme violent or confrontational methods. So, they say Malcolm was militant. Malcolm wasn't militant. Malcolm was pro-life, and he was pro-black life, and he was pro-self-defense. See what I'm saying? Black people was under attack. Malcolm come from a time where they killed his father, sent his mother, to the crazy house, KKK people. And, he was in the Nation of Islam when the LAPD raided the Nation of Islam in Los Angeles, and they shot I think seven Nation of Islam members, and they shot one Ronald Stokes in his groin, in his penis, and in his stomach, and they beat him in the head. And they beat him in the head or shot him in the head, and that was 1952, or it was 62. 1952 was 1962. And so, this is, the world. And so Malcolm was a militant. We was black people was under attack all over the world. And so how can you call black people? So how can you call a black man that had enough, that's encouraging his organization, Nation of Islam, and black people to stand up for themselves, militant? We was being, dogs was attacked. They was killing our leaders. They was, spitting in our face. They was lynching us. We 60, 70 years out of slavery. And that ain't even 100 years out of slavery they was. And it may have been 1960 something, 1950. But, we just, 100 years out of slavery they were. And the racial under and overtones was very present in black people's lives. Police had no respect for us. They beat dude in the head, and they had to go get Malcolm and form in front of police. That's a true story. And so we was getting no respect from other ethnic groups, and they was violent against black people. The violence against black people at that time was very, very real, like it is today, so much so that we have to form groups from the street up, from the grassroots. Black Lives Matter. See what I'm saying? This is Black Lives Matter wasn't waiting in the wings. Black Lives Matter happened because of the racial injustice by white civilians and police killing unarmed black people just because they can, or they felt and feel like they can, right? So Malcolm was not militant. Malcolm wasn't a terrorist. He wasn't wanted to, he wanted to be treated fair. He wanted justice for the violated. Justice is where truth and equality meet. Where truth and equality meet is justice. But we rarely get justice in the court system. When it's police involvement or other parties, right? And so, yeah, man, Malcolm was not militant. And Elijah, I did hear him say, Muhammad, that Malcolm got what he preached. Malcolm preached violence, and violence fell upon Malcolm. I was like, wow. Malcolm used to speak for that man. Malcolm was Elijah Muhammad's national spokesman, right? And he used to say, Elijah Muhammad teaches us, right? And so, but now all of a sudden, Malcolm's off on his own. Malcolm got what he preached was violent, which was a violent end. I think that's that dude Two-Face, because it was the Nation of Islam that killed Malcolm. I can't. People say the FBI. If you do your homework on this latest development, that the NYPD was told by the FBI to detain and arrest and entrap 2 or 3 of Malcolm's closest security 3 days before his assassination, right? And so, Spike Lee wrote in that book, The FBI Files, the intro, saying how he used to watch the FBI show, and he can't believe that they was just that racist and dishonest. And they found some FBI files counterintelligence files that say they wanted to stop the rise of a black messiah and, to shut down Malcolm at all costs. But and so, they say that would have come from J. Edgar Hoover. Right. I wasn't born at that time, man, but I can't believe I wasn't born too far after that. But I can't believe that, that the FBI and so they entrapped his three close security guards for blowing up the. They charged them and for blowing for plotting to blow up the Statue of Liberty, right? And I'm like, man, wow. And so that's why he didn't have security that day, but he didn't need security that day because, well, he felt he didn't because he was at an organization for Afro-American unity. You know, that wasn't even a Nation of Islam gathering. That he was talking about bringing all black people all over the world together, all African descent people together. That's on the day he got shot, February 21st, 1965. That's what he was uh, uh, about to talk about. And they shot him down, the Nation of Islam members out of Mars 25 in Newark, New Jersey. Right. And so, so today, you got some NOI, some young NOI brothers and some old NOI members that believe a lie that come from Fake Khan and Malcolm X was coming back to the Nation of Islam, right? Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. Uh, yeah, he wrote some letters, but the television show which they put together and they make it entertainment. Some things may be in form of entertainment which may not have happened, but he and Spike Lee do the same thing. He wrote some letters during his suspension, during his 90-day plus suspension, asking Elijah Muhammad for forgiveness for going against his wishes and words of speaking on the JFK assassination. That's all Malcolm did wrong. He went against Elijah Muhammad and spoke on JFK when he was ordered not to. Right. And so they suspended him 90 days plus. And so he was writing during his suspension, saying he understand the error of his ways. He would come back at a reduced rank. But they did not respond. And a response say, Malcolm say, "Well, I'm a man first, and I'm a minister, and I'm gonna go ahead and do my own thing." So he fell back. He peeled off. Wasn't no hard feelings. They was fucking with his money. You know what I'm saying? Fucking with his house, which they say it was their house that they provided for Malcolm, which they ended up firebombing. Right. And so, it's another documentary out. I'm going to tell you. It's on YouTube, and it's called Malik. It's called Malik, and it's produced and narrated by Middle Eastern people, right? And they document Malcolm's time when he was overseas, right? When he visited the Middle East and Africa. This where he became got introduced to Orthodox Islam and became an imam. I think I don't know if it was over there but the question if Malcolm was coming back, and this documentary shows the Nation of Islam rejected Malcolm's body when they prepared him for his burial, for his funeral. The Nation of Islam did not hold the funeral. No one from the Nation of Islam gave a eulogy. The actor and activist Ozzie Davis perform Malcolm's eulogy. The Nation of Islam threatened every church in Harlem, probably in New York, not to accept Malcolm's body. And so one church, I think it was a Kojic church, Church of God in Christ, accepted Malcolm's body, and they were threatened with being firebombed. So, Malcolm wasn't coming back, and they weren't on good terms. If Malcolm was coming back, why did they kill him? Why did Nation of Islam members kill him? If Malcolm was going to come back, when was he going to come back? After being called a traitor, after being threatened, being firebombed, to put a bomb in his car, firebomb his house, he was going to come back and do what? Say, okay, right? So, and so I think many New Yorkers and Harlemites are still affected by the Nation of Islam bullying tactics and them killing Malcolm X in New York like that, in Harlem at the Autobahn. Like, I think they still, that's a bully tactic. That's, if you go against us and you speak against us, we gonna kill you, right? And you got some 5%ers that don't want to deal with the whole Malcolm thing, and how can you learn the history and how Father Allah became the father if you don't go through Malcolm, right? So, I follow, like I say, I follow Malcolm all the way through overseas, his orthodox, to his, growth and development was really real. Malcolm really outgrew the Nation of Islam. And, they were such, great debaters, or, smart men. They could have stood their ground in a more intellectual way than gunned down the great Malcolm X, right? So, yeah, man. Them some foul dudes, man. Them some foul dudes. So I'm not gonna take up too much more of your time, man. I just want to break down understanding and how we got to understand Malcolm. And man, when I first started this journey, I didn't want to hear no more. I was like, cause Malcolm real sharp. Real sharp. You think it's outdated, but I kept on. I played in the background while I'm cooking or something, cleaning. Watch, I play it. I'm like, the ballad of bullet. The bullet of the ballad message is still relevant today. It really sounds like he talking about Obama. And it ain't funny. See what I'm saying? It's like, wow, so Malcolm, all his lectures and speeches and sermons is still relevant. It's scary. It's what you call that? Man, it's like, he a prophet. He predicted it. I mean, he looked way into the future, and he knew if black people don't wake up, we gonna always be oppressed, always be under the heel, always be under the foot of other skin color people that want to dominate us, beat us, use us, and kill us. So, he was encouraging people to unite, come together, organize, and get our respect, get our equality, get our justice. No, no justice, no peace is really real. We can't say no justice, no peace, and then disperse. See what I'm saying? So now I'm teaching violence. I'm not teaching violence. I'm saying what justice, no peace really means. See what I'm saying? So yeah, man. You're to become 5%er, Nation Council, Earth, God, Body, Goddess, Queen, Master, Lord. You got to develop your ability to discern. To look into. to know enough about what you're reading about the past, the history, to, you know, and so you gotta have knowledge, you gotta have book smart, street smart, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have work, work skills, see what I'm saying? To understand labor and wages and fair pay and fair treatment. Just the way of the world, to understand the need for you to be an entrepreneur. You may have to have work for somebody if you aren't taught that at a young age. The importance of having your own and knowing how to build your own. That's an understanding that comes with knowledge and wisdom. And what is understanding? What is discernment? Discernment is doing. So if you never done, how you know if no one taught you? See, being taught something, they sharing knowledge, they pouring knowledge into you, right? So, but that don't mean we poor righteous teachers. We are pure righteous teachers because, in being poor, you can't live out or practice your culture and freedom. You won't have no power. You won't be equal to nobody. You can't manifest God or Allah. You can't build. You can't born nothing. And your cipher will be poor. Now, I just took you from 4 to 0 in supreme mathematics. Culture, freedom is 4. Power, refinement is 5. Equality is 6. 7 is God, Allah. 8 is build or destroy. 9 is born. 0 is cipher. Your cipher is your network of friends and family that you build with. And if y'all preach and teach poverty, poor, your whole network and cipher, your whole way of thinking, your outlook on life, your ideas gonna be poor, knowing real life. Right? And so this where enlightenment come in. This where knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what's being taught, of what or of how a 5%er or how God is supposed to take that. We're supposed to destroy that. Destroy that thought, that way of thinking. We pure righteous teachers. Power righteous teachers. See what I'm saying? And I don't mind being a paid righteous teacher. See what I'm saying? So, that comes from the NOI. And they ain't about that. The heads of the NOI ain't about being poor. Yeah. They ain't about righteous teachings. I didn't heard Faker Khan say, the nation of God is false teaching, it's wrong teaching. But what they about is false, wrong teaching because they didn't committed crimes. And speaking of that, you know, uh, yeah. So, um, yeah. And it's an article out here. Okay, it's an article out here how Farrakhan promoted Mustafa Aziz Shabazz. I do believe that's Bradley's name, right? Or Captain. It say right here. It say I don't know. The former captain of Mosque number 25 in Newark, Captain Majid had taken over from Captain Muhammad Abdul Aziz 16 months after Farrakhan tried to elevate the convicted killer of Malcolm X from cold-blooded assassin to Mosque number 7's top cop. So I don't know that dude. That dude probably got aliases, man. That dude Bradley. If you watch the documentary close, they gonna show up his name. And so, Fake Khan named his son, his right hand man, his security Mustafa, Aziz Farrakhan, something like that, right? But he named his son after the shooter. And it's funny how Malcolm had Shabazz name in the 50s, I think. And so I like, why the killer, the double barrelman changed his name to Shabazz? What is that about? You see what I'm saying? Oh, is they trying to do away with Malcolm's whole identity? It's like they want to kill his identity. See, that's jealousy, to take his name and build off his dedication and hard work to becoming a national spokesman for the Nation of Islam and Elijah Muhammad, right? But his articles are here to say Faker Khan knew or met Bradley. That's the double barrelman. So watch episode 5 and 6 of Who Killed Malcolm X, and he gonna show you the killer, or who's thought to be the killer, right? I would hate to believe that the Newark law enforcement authorities, all the way to the federal level, and the New York law enforcement authorities, all the way to the federal level, would let the actual shooters walk around, go free. It's depressing, it's disheartening, and it's disappointing. I just recently learned watching some things on YouTube that Talmadge Hayer, you can YouTube. That's the young light skinned dude that got shot in the back of the leg, I think, that they caught and they was beating on, right? And he went to jail. He got convicted, went to jail. He was the one I think that shot him 16 times, and while he was laying on the ground, while Malcolm was laying on the stage, they began to shoot Malcolm, and he was one of the dudes that had one of the guns that shot him. And in the old 70s interview, he take credit for getting the gun, shooting Malcolm, being down with the nation. Talmadge Hayer, come to find out, by some people and by some old people some older people, and that was in the old AAU, the Organization for Afro American Unity, started by Malcolm and some black educated scholars. They get some interviews that and they said this husband and wife said that dude Talmadge served 11 years, and then he was on some kind of work furlough that he would get out and come back to jail on Saturday or something. So he only did 11 years for a premeditated murder. Premeditated murder carry a life to death sentence with no parole. In the state of Michigan, premeditated murder is murder one. That's capital murder. Premeditated murder in the state of Michigan carry life with no parole, and in a death penalty state, you can get the death penalty. But they gave this dude premeditated. Premeditated. They say they scouted out, or they cased the Autobahn weeks and days before they killed Malcolm. They left Newark they left Newark with the sole purpose to kill Malcolm. They say the FBI told the NYPD to remove the security out the way, so they can have a better shot at Malcolm. And he wasn't even at an a Black Muslim event. And it's like his daughter say, his eldest daughter Tyler say, his firstborn say, it wasn't, okay, y'all throw blame, y'all throw misdirection at the white FBI and the white NYPD, but it was black and brown faces in the Nation of Islam that pulled the trigger. See what I'm saying? That tore her family up, right? Messed their mama up. But Betty stayed strong, So, yeah, man, y'all got to look at that shit. and fake a con, knowing the people that did it. And far as them two people that went to jail for it, on the Butler, I can't think of the other dude's name, but on the documentary, he looked guilty, he sounded guilty, but he say he was a anti-Malcolm, so he didn't care. Well, I say if you anti-Malcolm, then you a decoy. You don't get no sympathy because you not the wrong man. You part of it, but you're not the actual shooter. So they say. But it's two men walking around Newark, New Jersey, still alive. They faked their death, still alive. That killed my Uncle Malcolm. So, I got a problem. For real. And it's like we can't get no justice and they like want to keep it to the street. So if I wanted, it's on Malcolm's family now. It ain't the police, the FBI obviously don't care. And they don't care. And so if we want justice, we're gonna have to take justice in our own hands. If we ever want justice for El Haj Malik, El Shabazz, Uncle Mal, Malcolm X, we're gonna have to do it ourselves. You see what I'm saying? That's some foul shit. To me, the Nation of Islam is terrorists, domestic terrorists, homegrown terrorists, bullies. If you don't agree with them, then you can get killed. That's crazy. That's crazy. Malcolm didn't deserve death by the hands of them or nobody. That's crazy. That's so. Listen to what I'm telling you, man. Listen to what I'm telling you. So yeah, man, the power of discernment. How supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet. I mean, they say the Father Allah taught that. This is all you need: supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet, and enlightened interpretation on the supreme 120-degree wisdom lessons as taught by an actual enlightener, not a Nation of Islam member, but a Nation of Gods and Earth representative, right? So, yeah, man. And so, once again, peace to all the mothers, Queen God Earths out there. This y'all, you know, born, this y'all born day for having the power to born is how you are celebrated today on Mother's Day. Having that power to born, right? And so, yeah, one last thing, man, back to the show, man. It's like what I'm going through now. As the more I receive and understand and grow and take in Malcolm and my lessons and listen to the gods and the earths and all the conscious black power movement out here, my haters, which is black men and women, become pests to me, right? They become pests. The more I grow and learn and just the knowledge of I got haters like Malcolm, for real. And he said on the show, I think they took a line from that, right? I think that said, the white man uses the black man, and the black man becomes the white man's whip, right? The white man's whip. This is how black on black violence happen. He was talking to that dude that he caught planting the bomb in his car. He said, "You the white man's whip." You heard me speak, and you want to kill me. I always been about some kind of black power, knowledge of self. Just ain't know it. And I always been pro-education. Always been about peace. But I got haters that hate me because I ain't down. And I don't pretend to be down or pretend with them. I don't say, man, we the shit. You know, motherfucker constantly tell me, he used to tell me, you the man, though. You know I ain't the man. I ain't trying to be the man. You know, we got to build. I ain't the man, you ain't the man. We ain't done shit to be the man. But, you know, you look back, I think it's a Spike Lee School Days thing, right? But on another, it's the educated, or it's the uneducated versus the educated, right? And and it's crazy. And most of my haters, black haters, is uneducated. And if they educated, they sleep and they jealous. So, the white man's whip. I got haters that is millionaires, but they uneducated, and they constantly want to berate and disrespect and bring me down. Cause I don't have to acknowledge you as the man. That man that paid you, thank you, the man, enough, but that ain't enough for an uneducated, special ed need motherfucker, right? The white man's whip, black on black violence, is the sleep, uneducated, jealous brothers and sisters being the white man's whip. I say, man, I can relate to that, right? Yes. So yeah, man, it's like, man, yeah, the FBI need to really clean house. The NYPD, they need to go snatch that man out his fake death and snatch Farrakhan up and everybody and Elijah Muhammad Jr. and put them all in jail for conspiracy to commit murder, get life, and Bradley and the other dude, McKinney, I think his name is, the construction company owner in Newark, New Jersey, they ought to get life in prison. Or death. They need to get the death penalty. You could kill a black man and get out of jail in a racist climate, but Mumia Abu Jamal and Mutulu Shakur sits in jail, and in both cases, white armored car guard was killed, and a white police officer was killed. I don't. Mutulu say he wasn't there, and Mumia, it looks like a case of self-defense because Mumia was shot. Mumia was in his car, mind his business. He rolled up on a scene, seen his little brother doing something, and next thing you know, he out his car, so he getting shot by the police, and he shoot back because that policeman was trying to kill him, his brother, and some white hooker. It looked like it. Everybody on the street, that police officer trying to kill in Philadelphia. And Mumia sits in jail today. It's a organization called Amnesty International that wrote a paper on Mumia, and they say they can't determine his innocence or his guilt, but they're a neutral party, so they say that he deserves another trial because the prosecuting attorney and the judge who was deceased today was very racist. They did not allow him to get a fair trial, and it's a capital murder case. So at the minimum, he deserves a new trial and clemency, a pardon, because of the racial climate, and he was shot, and it could be considered self-defense, even though that man was a police officer. Mumia knew he was that police officer trying to kill him and his brother. So, And same with Asada Shakur, who's been exiled in Cuba, living her life. She was shot, right? And they say she killed a state trooper, and all of them was heavy in the struggle as Black liberation freedom fighters, you know, and you know, and so she got they shot her, and she almost died in jail from some septic blood poison and infection, and they almost killed her, and they wanted to give her death for the death of the state trooper that somebody shot, right? So yeah, man, the Nation of Islam ain't never gonna be right, man. Y'all gotta research Faker Khan, man. His actions, ways, and motives. You know, behind the scene, you know, he, he a snake, man. He was like Malcolm was like 8 years older than Farrakhan, and he joined the nation. He say because of Malcolm X, and his pictures out there, and it's hard to believe that Farrakhan wanted Malcolm's position, like he was that jealous, and Malcolm was okay with that, right? He said he was. I mean, not saying like nigga, I move, I go. Y'all go ahead and keep building. Let me do me then, right? But Faker Khan can't beat Malcolm today. Malcolm dead. Malcolm lives on through his lectures that can shut Faker Khan down. Faker Khan steal from Malcolm's words and passion, right? And so it must have been some kind of jealousy that you would write an article in the paper that Malcolm started, Muhammad Speaks, for Elijah Muhammad, calling him a traitor. Malcolm ain't no traitor. He didn't, he didn't, he didn't, he became more of a Muslim on all levels. He learned more about Islam on all levels. He was about all black people all over the world. He was about uniting all black people, whether they were Muslim or not. The Nation of Islam want people just to come to them, join them, and then they feel like they can do something. Nation of Islam weak than a motherfucker. All them brothers uneducated, right? So no, he wasn't coming back. If he was to teach and correct y'all, but he wasn't coming back, man. So yeah, man, you got to, and so if Elijah ordered everybody to leave Malcolm alone, why would he write a scathing article calling Malcolm a traitor? So he predicted Malcolm's death. He must have knew something. I like to call him a patsy. He get mad, say he ain't no patsy. If you ain't a patsy, then you knew. What was going to happen, and that makes you conspiratorial. And he ought to be hauled into the federal J. Edgar Hoover building and brought up on charges of murder, plotting and conspiring to commit a murder, and aiding and abetting after the fact of the murder. And Faker Khan, them brothers ain't righteous. The FOI tenet covenant say commit no crime. Plotting murder is a crime. You see what I'm saying? Aiding and abetting a murderer is a crime. Conspiring to commit a murder is a fine. A message within a message. That's not what we do. You know what I'm saying? We may speak a little bit. That's peace or knowledge. We speak with supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet. God, what's up, God? Don't mean I'm saying you the most high. I'm just showing you respect and peace. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Y'all got to wake up to the Nation of Islam and its leaders today and in the past, and what they gonna do in the future. You know, y'all ought to tell them to stay off Malcolm, because they don't know what they talking about. For real. So, oh man, that's been an hour 15. I don't keep y'all too long. I'm out. Peace.